Hey guys, today we are going to add and subtract polynomials. We're going to start with addition, which is basically just combining like terms. So you can see what we did is since there's a plus sign here, we're just adding everything that you see. So we have 11x, we have negative x squared, excuse me, we have 13 plus, and then the 2x squared minus 23 minus 5x, and then this is extra. This should not be here. Sorry about that. Okay, so then we're going to go through and we're going to look to see what is it that I can put together. So I have 11x's, I have negative 5x's, and then I'm going to switch colors so you can see it. I have negative x squared and positive 2x squared. And then I have positive 13 and negative 23. Okay, so this answer is not correct. So scribble that out. So I'm going to look to see what I have that I could, or how to add them together. So once you know what you're adding, you cannot change what you have. So my x squared has to stay in x squared. So I have a negative, remember there's a 1 there, negative 1 and positive 2. So we did, if I have 1 negative and 2 positives, right? A negative and a positive cancel out to make 0. So I just have 1 positive left. So I'm going to have 1 positive x squared. And then for my x's, I'm going to cross those off so I don't get lost. Then my x's are in blue. So I have 11 and then negative 5. So basically I can do 11 minus 5 and get 6. So I have 6 x's. And then finally I have positive 13 and negative 23. So 13 minus 23 is going to give me negative 10. So then this is going to be minus 10. Okay, so that's going to be my answer. I don't have to have the 1 in there. I could just write it as x squared plus 6x minus 10. And that'll be my answer. Okay. For subtraction, it's a little bit trickier because you have this minus sign here. So when you have a minus sign, you need to go ahead and change it to a plus, but you have to change the sign of everything in the parentheses that follow it. Okay. So if I rewrite that, I've got 4x squared plus 5x. Those came from the original parentheses, or the first set of parentheses. And then you see how 7x turned into negative 7x. And then 3x squared turned into negative 3x squared. And then 1 turned into minus 1. Okay? So then I'm going to go through and just combine my like terms. So I have 4x squared minus 3x squared. And then I have 5x minus 7x. And then finally I have minus 1 is my constant. Okay? So I'm going to start with my x squareds. So I have 4 minus 3, and that's going to give me 1x squared. And then with my x's, I have 5 minus 7. So I have 5 positives and then 7 negatives. There you go. Right, so these are all going to cancel because they all add up to 0. And then I have 2 negatives left. So I have minus 2x and then minus 1. So that's my answer, is x squared minus 2x minus 1. And there you go. So let's do a couple examples real quick and see how it goes. So for this one, we're just combining like terms. So I have 4x and another 4x. And then I have negative 7 and another negative 7. So when I put those together, 4x plus 4x is going to give me 8x. Negative 7 and negative 7 is going to give me negative 14. So it's just 8x minus 14. And this one I'm adding, so I'm just going to have, I've got k squared minus 4k plus 7. plus k squared plus 9k minus 3. So I have a k squared here and a positive k squared here, and then a negative 4k and a positive 9k and a positive 7 and a negative 3. So when I put those together, I have 1 and 1, so that's going to be 2k squared. I have negative 4 and positive 9. That's going to give me positive 5. And positive 7 minus 3 is going to give me positive 4. And that is my answer. Now another way to do this real quick is to stack them. So if I start by writing my original set, so k squared minus 4k plus 7, and then underneath it I write the term that is common to it. So k squared would go under k squared, positive 9k, and negative 3. And then I would add them that way. So I have 1 and 1, that gives me 2k squared. Negative 4 plus 9 is 5k, and 7 minus 3 is positive 4. So it's just another way to organize it. You can use whichever you like. All right. So we'll start here by distributing that negative sign. Turn this into a plus, negative 3x, negative 5x. So I'm going to rewrite what I have. X squared plus 17x minus 3x squared minus 5x. Then I'm going to look for my like terms. So I have 1x squared here, negative 3x squared. And then I have positive 17x and negative 5x. So I'm going to add my red ones first. So 1 and negative 3, or 1 minus 3, is negative 2. So I have negative 2x squared. And then 17 minus 5 is 12. So I have plus 12x. And that's my answer. Okay, I could have also stacked it and had 1x squared plus 17x. And then underneath that, put minus 3x squared minus 5x. And then I do the same thing and get the same answer, but it's just formatted a little bit differently. So you choose whichever method works well for you. All right, you try this one. 5r minus 2 minus 9r minus 11. So hit pause and try it, and then come back and see how you did. I'm going to change this to a plus, change that to a minus, and then change that to a plus. So this negative sign, remember, changes everything in the second set of parentheses. So I have 5r minus 2 minus 9r plus 11. Okay, so I can stack these. So do minus 9r plus 11, and I get negative 4r plus 9. Okay? Or I could have left it as 5r minus 2 minus 9r plus 11. So my two like terms are here. My constants are here. 5 minus 9 is negative 4r. And then plus 9. So either way, you can do it whichever way you like better. All right, what binomial must be added to negative 3x plus 8? So the sum of the two polynomials is 5x minus 14. So what you need to see here is I'm going to take this minus this. So I'm going to do 5x minus 14 minus negative 3x plus 8. Okay, so then I'll change this to a plus, change this to a plus, change that to a minus. So I'll have 5x minus 14 plus 3x minus 8. So my two like terms are 5x and 3x. My constants are negative 14, negative 8. So 5x plus 3x is 8x. Negative 14 and negative 8 is going to give me negative 22. And that's my answer. Okay, and I can check it when I add negative 3x plus 8 and positive 3x minus 22. That's going to give me 5x minus 14, which is what I should have had. So I'm all good. All right, and then Mrs. Willett is trying to subtract the following polynomials, use calculations and mathematical language to explain what she did wrong and what she should have done differently. So right here, I should see, if I were going to do this problem, I would do 11x plus 8x squared. And then you remember you're changing this. So this one's going to be negative, this one's going to be positive, and this one's going to be negative. So I should have negative 3x squared plus 9 minus 9x. And you can see that she didn't do that here and here. Okay, so she did not distribute, that's a U, the negative sign. To all terms. In the parentheses. Okay, so that's what she should have done, and then she should have combined like terms. So my x squared terms are negative 8 or positive 8x and negative 3x. Then my x terms are 11x and negative 9x. Then my constant is just 9. So when I combine all those, 8 minus 3x is going to give me 5x squared. 11x minus 9x is going to give me a positive 2x. And then plus 9. And that's what she should have had. Okay? So that's it. You'll have some practice, and just let me know what questions you have.